Going to start. All right, everybody. I'm super excited about this call. I am a huge training junkie. As you guys know, I'm not Julie. This is obviously Pure Synergy's call. And like I said, I'm a huge training junkie, and I have been YouTubing a ton of videos, and I came across Colleen doing a call for Katie Hefner. And I was just like, oh my God, everybody needs to hear this. So I reached out, and I'm super happy that you are joining us and that you'll be able to talk to everybody. So before we get into having Colleen talk, I'm just going to go over super quick. We have a ton of stuff happening right now. Fix8 just came out today. If you haven't seen it already, the link is in the files in the coach group. Obviously, Summit is happening tomorrow and Thursday all the way through Sunday. Also, the pinned, or not the actual photo in the coach group shows that you can watch live. So if you're not going to Summit, I highly suggest getting together with a bunch of local coaches and streaming Summit live. You know, even if it's just a few seminars, it's awesome. It's like you'll be there with us even if you're not physically there. And as we all know, Size comes out on Monday. If you haven't checked out the call that we did on Sunday about launching, definitely check it out. You want to get an event up and just really start promoting it, because this is going to be absolutely huge. There are so many people that love dancing but hate working out, and so this is like perfect for them. All right, so like I said, I was super inspired by Colleen's call. She had, she's just really gotten into this. She rank advanced really far and then all of a sudden dropped. And, it just took a matter of mastering her mindset. And that's what she's really going to be talking about today and giving us tips on. So take it away, Colleen.
All right. Thank you. Can you guys hear me? I've never used headphones before. But today my cleaners are at my house right now, so I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. If everyone can just mute themselves, I get easily distracted and then totally lose my train of thought when there's background noise. So you guys will do me a huge favor if you can do that, and especially with headphones, it's weird. Guys, a little bit about me, because you're probably like, who is this girl? Who's this person? And I'm just another Team Beachbody coach, but for me, I have actually gone through quite a journey in the last 2 years. I'm about to turn 30 in a month, which is so crazy to say out loud. I was born and raised on the East Coast near Boston, Massachusetts, and I grew up this great life. I honestly did. My parents put me through great schools, private schools, because I was a little hellion. And these headphones are probably going to drive me crazy. So for me, going to private schools was a huge part of my life because I rebelled all the time. So my poor parents had to put me through all that. But I loved school, but I had socially a lot of problems with people, and I had a lot of issues with self-confidence and things like that. So when I got to college, I was like, ooh, it's party time. My parents aren't here. I get to do whatever I want. I played college volleyball. And then came my senior year of college, and I said, oh, I got to get that job, and I have to look good on paper, and I have to do all the things we're supposed to do as an adult. And in my eyes, the East Coast versus the West Coast mentality is very, very different. So in my eyes, I thought that I had to go get the fanciest job I possibly could, and that would deem me successful. But as we all know, the job doesn't really define your whole life. And in my eyes, the way I was raised was you get a good education, you make a decent living, you save a bunch of money, you buy a house, you get old, you get fat and wrinkly. No offense to anyone that thinks that that's rude to say, but honestly, that's what I thought. I got to take these headphones out. Hold on. You guys can hear me okay? Yeah? All right. If you hear vacuums, I apologize. It wasn't my plan to have them here now. But that's honestly what I thought. You got old and life got hard and you had kids and you never went on vacation, because that's what you hear, right? Oh, you guys just got married. You have to go on vacation now because once you have kids, your life is over. And I'm like, that sounds horrible. So I went out and got the fancy job because I worked hard in school, and I actually got a job with Verizon Wireless. And in 2006, that was before smartphones, this was a really big deal. And I thought that I made it. I moved up really quick in the company. I got promoted to manager, and I was 23 years old towards the end of my career. And I was managing almost 30 people in a multi-million-dollar store. I think back to it, and I still can't believe that was my job. And I worked retail hours. I would show up on my days off for meetings and not get paid. I would have my cell phone getting hourly updates for sales numbers. I mean, talk about completely chained to your job. I thought it was normal. When I turned 24, I decided that I really needed a change. And in my eyes, moving to California would fix all my problems for some reason. And I was like, oh, if I move to California, life's going to be great, right? Well, I transferred with the same job. And when I got to my new store, I ended up finding out that I worked for the devil. Literally, my boss was the worst person still that I've ever met in my life. She put me through a living hell. I had the worst relationships, self-esteem. I was out partying until the wee hours in the morning because it was my way of escaping, and I was so angry. My mentality was so twisted, and I actually ended up stressing myself out so bad that I ate ulcers through my stomach, literally. Like, my stomach and my anxiety was so bad. I was 24 years old. And my now husband, but then boyfriend, we went through a really bad place in our relationship during that time because he was born and raised California, and I call him Mr. Rainbows and Butterflies because seriously, nothing can bother him. He's the person that we all sometimes want to punch in the face, and I might be that person today for you, but he was so right, and I hate to admit it, but when we tell you guys, if you think positive things will happen, I was so anti that statement. I didn't want to hear it. And so when I get into my segment about mindset today, probably more than a third of you are going to completely tune out. It's going to go in one ear and out the other. You don't want to hear anything about it. But someday you're going to wake up and say, I still feel like more can change in my life. My business isn't moving. My relationships aren't growing. Like, you know that you need more. And I'm here to tell you that this is my 30th call today doing this. Between Super Saturdays and speaking on team calls, my 30th call. And this is the reason I have been able to be successful with Beachbody and change other people's lives, including my own, in 2 years. So I actually, just to kind of finish my story with Verizon, that horrible boss really was so horrible to the point that she found a way to get rid of me. My career job of 6 years, she ripped up the rug from underneath me. I walked into work one day and I found out that the store I had been transferred to by her was closing, and she knew it. So I lost my corporate job, all the fancy things that we think that we work so hard for, and it was completely ripped away from me. And so I called my dad and said, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because all I did was party and shop because I was sad. That was my way to kind of mend, and repair how I was feeling. And he said, Colleen, I honestly think it was a blessing in disguise for you because you were so miserable there. So right then and there, that for me was my moment that I am not going to let anyone else decide how my life is going. I had the business that I was running ripped away from me. And when I saw the Team Beachbody opportunity of becoming a girl boss, becoming my own boss, I truly was obsessed with that idea. But I would not have been able to do that if I didn't surrender. Can you guys hear me okay with the vacuums? Yeah? Okay, I'm sorry. They should probably hopefully be done by my door. And so for me, I knew that I'd look at all these successful Beachbody coaches, and you guys know that if you're watching people at Summit get all these awards and, they're living their life by design that we all dream of, or whatever your goals may be, maybe that they have achieved them and you haven't yet. There's one thing that they all have in common, and it's that they've mastered their mindset. There are so many successful coaches in this business that I can tell you do not wake up every day worrying and stressing and thinking negative. So today I want to talk to you guys about how mindset is going to completely change your life. And I'm excited to, a few months down the road, a few weeks down the road, maybe even a few days down the road, get a message from some of you guys, and you can tell me how much better you feel because you're thinking about the way you're thinking, which I know sounds crazy, but you're going to be able to master your mindset. Your team, your coaches, your clients, your challengers, everyone's going to feel it when you make this change. So in this business,
all the how-tos in the world are out there. I can tell you how to hit emerald. I can tell you how to hit diamond. So why do some people feel like they cannot hit emerald or diamond? And it's honestly all because it's up here. Because there's no one physically chaining you down, putting a piece of caution tape around you saying, don't let this person hit emerald. No, this person is not deemed to hit diamond, or make a certain amount of money, or advance in their business, or lose the weight. There's no one but you and your mindset holding you back. So what I've learned, everything I'm about to tell you today is what I've learned from a book or an experience or a professional or a seminar or something. So it's not just Colleen Eddy, barking orders or anything like that. This is real, genuine stuff that I know successful people use to this day. So you might think it's hocus pocus. You might not want to listen or believe it, but please just try to have an open mind. Just like when you read a new personal development book that someone else tells you is so great, and then you pick it up and you're like, this isn't that great. It's usually because we have walls up and we have a certain way that we think that we're not willing to adopt a new mentality. So today we're going to put all our walls down, we're going to take all the handcuffs off, and we're just going to surrender and start to understand how to open our mindset up a little bit more. So there's actually a difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Like there's all this scientific research, there's all these reports and everything, but there is that one thing, and it's good thinking. And so an Olympian athlete, when they wake up in the morning, do you think that they're like, oh, I got to go swim 500 laps in the pool today? That really sucks. Oh, I'm pretty tired today. I don't think I really want to do that today. I can tell you right now that those successful kind of people are not thinking that. So to put it in very easy terms, mindset is a practice of thinking about how you think. So every morning that you wake up, dog's paw in my face, maybe for you, it's your kids screaming in the other room. However your day starts, it is what it is. You really can't control that, but what you can control is your thought process and your perspective. And I want to talk to you and give you an example about perspective. So there's two sisters, they're hanging out in the kitchen, and Sister A has been working so hard to get into this doctorate program for college because she wants to advance on in her career and she has to go through this program. So she worked so hard to get into this because she knows that she wants to grow and it's opportunity. And so she's sitting at the kitchen table with her other sister. She gets her letter of acceptance and she's so pumped up. She's so excited and so grateful and ready to go. Then her other sister looks at her and says, wow, that really sucks. You just finished 4 years of college and you're going to go on to more school? Oh, that sounds like so much work. And so every single day we are presented with a scenario, with a challenge, with an obstacle, with an opportunity, and you can choose to be Sister A or Sister B. I now welcome a challenge. I welcome when I dropped from, I was going to be 6-star this last week and I dropped. Now I'm so craving to get that 6-star qualification back because I love a good challenge because it puts me to work. But it's not that easy. I'm not just saying you're going to roll out of bed tomorrow and be like, woo, let's go, let's do this. It takes time, just like losing weight. If you want to get your arms all defined and toned, if you want that 6-pack, if you want to lose 100 pounds, whatever it is, it takes time. So that's why when I do this call, I'm always excited to hear back from you guys and hear some feedback down the road because there are going to be things that stick with you today that will really help you. So everything, every day, everywhere, thoughts completely rule your life. And when you understand that your perspective is honestly controlling your success, you're going to be like, I got this because it's me, myself, and I. And in this business, I call it squirrel syndrome. You have to put your blinders on. Okay, I have 2 dogs, so everything I reference to dogs. My dogs will be like, ooh, squirrel, squirrel. Even though I have a treat in my hand, they see a squirrel and they don't, you know what I mean? They want that squirrel. You have to put your blinders on and remember that this is your journey, this is your business, and you have a goal. Yes, of course, we're going to help people, but we're not going to let other people's journeys and successes and accomplishments get us down. If you're the type of coach where they can motivate you and they're going to push you because you want to strive to be better and bigger and stronger and more of a person, then absolutely, you can kind of use that competitive mindset. But comparison is seriously the biggest thief of joy in this business. Put your blinders on and have that perspective. It's something that I've had to do when I go to the next rank. Instead of worrying and stressing and eating more ulcers through my stomach, I have to focus on my goals and what I can do to accomplish it. I want to give you guys a personal example, and I've been sharing this more recently. If I didn't master my mindset, the news that I received in October of 2014 probably would have left me in complete shambles and stress ball and the old Colleen, and it just would have been horrible. Well, my fiance, he's a lot younger than me. We weren't even married. We just got married a few weeks ago. He was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Now, I got this via text message. We weren't even together. And why am I even sharing this with you? Because life gets crazy. Things are going to happen. Things in your business will happen. I hope bad things don't ever happen, but let's be professional business owners. Let's be strong-minded individuals so that when life throws us a curveball, we're not crumbling. You have that opportunity to either crumble or conquer. You can do one or the other, kind of like Sister A or Sister B. I'm sure you guys have heard in this business, success is a decision. It truly is. It's not about, where someone lives or how old they are or what they look like or who they are. It's none of that. It's a decision of perspective. Do you want to be the A person or the B person? So there's going to be times that you lose your rank. There's going to be times where there's 6 hours left in the day and you haven't hit Success Club, or maybe there's another goal that you were going for. If you have a strong mind and you're wanting to master your mindset and really challenge yourself, in those last 6 hours, focus on what you can control. Are you the person that just says, oh, I didn't hit Success Club, I'm going to bed, see you later? Or are you really going to push for it in those last 6 hours? All right, let's talk a little bit about how you can master your mindset. So do you guys ever wonder how people do the unthinkable? Honestly, Janelle Summers is someone that I still to this day, my jaw drops and I'm like, oh my God, you have 3, she's a superstar 3, which means she has 3 business centers that are 15-star plus now probably. So she has 45 plus diamonds. I mean, just completely mind-boggling. And then I have coaches that tell me that they don't even think they can do it and they just got their challenge back. How do people do the unthinkable? The first thing that they do is they master their mindset, because again, it's the only thing that is in between you and that success. So why is a strong mind crucial? Why should you even care about it? Especially in this business, a strong mind is crucial because you do not look to others for validation. You know that coach that's on your team that's always, maybe it's you, maybe it's your coach, maybe it's you, who knows, that's afraid to make a post because, and you ask them what's scary about it, and they probably say, I'm afraid of what other people are going to say. Or maybe you're afraid to talk about something with someone because you're afraid of what they're going to say. If you have a strong mind, you're not going to need their validation. You're not going to ask for permission. You're going to go and you're going to do. I call them silent mentors, a person that really drives me in this business, but maybe I don't talk to them like they're my upline or anything. Amy Silverman is that for me. We're very similar in our ways now, not always. But she reminded me that I don't need permission to go after my success, especially in this business. What are you waiting for? It is really up to you. Because I know that everything Amy says and does, she's as successful as she is because she just goes for it. She moves forward. She doesn't have squirrel syndrome and say, I don't know about this person. I don't know about this. She just goes. Okay? So that's why a strong mind is so crucial. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the book, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. It's been around the network for a while now, but when I originally had these notes, and I've done this call so many times now, I still to this day, it's actually sitting right next to me, and it's completely tagged up and highlighted in a million ways, and I still use this book every single day. If I do a coach call, I guarantee I'm whipping this out, and I'm like, hold on, girlfriend, let me tell you something. And I tell my coach that this book is something for me personally that changed my life. But I make them open the book with an open mind, and I ask them, are you willing and ready to change? Because you're coming to me telling me what you want to do, but you're still kind of, I love how in this book she calls people weenies. So now my team, I call them out and being weenies because I'm a tough love kind of coach. I will give my team my all. I will do anything for them, but nothing crushes my soul more than anything when people don't want to help themselves. And so that's the kind of coach I am. So go read You Are a Badass. I think you should always be reading a me book, which means it's going to help you grow personally, and a business book. You know, GoPro is as dry and boring and horrible as it comes, but you learn a million great things. But You Are a Badass is fun, and it's about you. So you need to be reading those kind of books at the same time. Second point is, I kind of already said this, but this is a daily task and effort. And so something I realized that I was doing to myself was I was telling myself I was working on my mindset, but yet I wasn't catching myself red-handed when I was making a mistake and thinking negative. My fiance or husband, I'm not used to saying that yet, he would always let me know. He would always let me know, Colleen, Little Miss Negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, because that was my whole life before. He'd catch me in the moment. And so share with your team, share with your significant other. I hope that your significant other and family is on board with you living a happy, healthy, exciting life. It's not just about the business and the sales and all that, but I hope that they're excited for you to make a positive change. And let them know, like, if I'm ever thinking negative and you'll catch yourself more than ever, let me know. And in that moment, I had to tell myself the word forward. I actually had to mumble the word or the phrase, Colleen, move forward, to myself when I got stuck in that Debbie Downer mode. Because what else was I going to do? I'm a big dweller, and it used to just go like a hamster wheel in my head, and I'd think and I'd be like, you just got to move on. And it was the only way that I could get myself to. And I had to repeat it a couple times. And then I would force myself to find the silver lining in this scenario. I am the queen of it now. I now have coaches who will be like, but I don't think I can do this because of this. And I love helping them overcome that with just a thought process. I challenge you guys, every single negative. I mean, the negative of Sean getting diagnosed with testicular cancer and having to have surgery literally within 10 hours of finding out, there's nothing positive about that. But you know what I found was we were going to do it together, and we were going to show it who's boss, and we were going to be the happiest people that we could be possible in our control during that time. It completely changed our relationship. We bonded together. I'm able to share this story and inspire others because it's the only thing you can control when things like that get crazy. All right, let's talk a little bit about empowering yourself. You probably hear that a lot. I always have coaches and people who come to me and say, okay, so I've done this and I got to here, now what? It's not your coach's job to tell you what to do next. I want to challenge all of you guys to be the leader. In order for you to lead others, you have to lead you first. The most successful people in this business, they take initiative and they go figure it out. They do something different. They just try. They just try to do something that's going to help them grow. And so you have to start doing things outside your comfort zone. Fear is only cured by action. The only way that things can stop being scary, and at some point you get completely desensitized, that's how people can get up on stage in front of 25,000 people. That's how people can do those things, because they took action. So you have to start doing things that you don't normally do. And here is something that I always recommend to people. If you're in a team page, which obviously you all are, what is your role in the team page? Are you the fly on the wall? Are you the person that just sucks the living energy out of everyone and just wants all the information instead of going to find it on your own? Or are you the person that is like, you know what? I want to lead the next team training. Or I'm going to make a video where I was able to hit Success Club in the last day of the month, and I'm going to help the team. Excuse me, hold on. So thirsty. I get so excited and out of breath. There's things that we normally don't want to do, and we shy away from them. There's a couple things I've shied away from in my career. I was told I should make a like page, and I didn't for 18 months, and it totally backfired. And I should have taken the advice of everyone that was telling me to make one, and I didn't. That's just one example. But if someone's telling you to do something because it's going to help you grow, don't skip that step just because it's uncomfortable. Start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and now you're going to be completely unstoppable. When I stopped living the victim role and I decided I wanted to be the victor and I wanted to make a name for myself and say, look what I did. Because you know what? We all know that feels good. Just like pressing play on your workout and finishing your workout, you feel like a boss at the end. Best example I can give, I like to give personal examples so you guys can kind of relate to, my journey and stuff, is I was a coach for 20 months. And at that point, Insanity Max 30 had come out. And I'd never touched an insanity program, never even tried it, didn't even look at it. I didn't even know what it sounded like, nothing. When Insanity Max 30 came out, I saw people like Amy Silverman in the test group. And I was like, you know what? I have to really start stepping up with my courage a little bit more. I had done everything I thought I could do, but there was always that one thing I told myself, I'll never do Max 30. I challenge girls on my team to do it with me. That was what completely changed their fitness and their business, because people are really like, wow, she's going way outside her comfort zone. As long as you're explaining this process in your posts, you really want to be an open book on social media. But I decided to commit to Insanity Max 30, and now I laugh and I cry and I joke about it because I'm going to be in the new Insanity Max 30 infomercial. The girl that said she would never, ever do this program is now in the infomercial, and I just laugh at it because I can't even believe that I had that. Like, what was holding me back? It was me. And it was that last little ounce of mindset that I had to work on. Okay, last part here. Why can some people lose 100 pounds and some can't? Some people will say, I really need to do this, but they can't even lose 5 pounds. And it's not because of the tools and the products and the things that they have. I promise you that. We all know that. It's really all a self-limitation. That's all it is. So when you realize that fear is emotional, it's not tangible. I can't touch fear. You might be able to see me sweating, my knees buckled, or my hands and palms sweaty. But when you realize it's emotional, you'll say, I have to master my mindset. When you are willing to make the change to the point that you're like, I will do anything, you will start to understand that it all starts here. And so the people that decide that they want to take control and lose the weight and make the change, and I use that 100-pound example because I have a few people in my downline that have done it, and they really know that it was all because of their mentality of pressing play every day and building the habits, rather than letting the hamster wheel go and go and go of saying, I have 100 pounds to lose. So we really work on that with people on my team. Okay, I want to talk about failure, and then I hope you guys have questions for me at the end. This is your chance to get uncomfortable and unmute yourself. It's something that I urge all my coaches on the team or anyone that I do team calls with, because if you just sit there behind the little screen, you never have your chance to start getting uncomfortable. So failure, it's such an icky word, right? Failure is usually people's biggest fear, so they don't even bother to try. But as a leader, and a lot of you will say, yeah, I'm all in. I'm a leader. I'm all in. I got this. And then all of a sudden it gets scary, and then we're like, oh, just kidding. That's not really what I wanted to do. So the only time you fail is when you quit. So failure is cool. Mistakes are cool. You need to learn along the way. I have failed and fallen on my face a bajillion times. There have been so many times that I've learned 10 times more from failing than I have actually just learning something straight off the bat. So as a leader, I want you to openly embrace failure. Like, what can you, I actually write in my team page every now and then, what did you do to fail today? And then they're all like, ooh, I didn't even try to push the bar today at all. I really like to set that bar high, because when we have those coaches that go out there and they start doing scary things, the momentum of the entire team just goes absolutely crazy. Failure is only a delay. If you make a mistake, if you didn't just, break both your legs off and your arms and your head's rolling down the street, you just made a little mistake. Something that Mindy Wender taught me is that you can replace the word failure with stumble. So when you say stumbling is my biggest fear, it kind of sounds silly, right? So I want you guys to just, who cares about failure? Just completely surrender to this. Take it as an experience. I can only imagine for the coaches that have been around the network for 7 years, I've only been doing this 2. I'm like, I still have 5 more years that I could grow even more. This is just crazy to me. So every single day, it's your responsibility to bring your A game. Could you guys imagine if this whole team and all 28 people on this call right now brought their A game every single day and stepped up as a leader and said, I'm going to master my mindset. This is how I'm doing it, and share, share, share. The team page would be going wild. And the awesome thing about this business is we're all connected, right? Volume and productivity and excitement is contagious, and we all earn an income that way. So remember that there's a hidden opportunity in every failure. The only time you fail is when you quit, and failure is only a delay. My last little section is personal development. I guess I said failure was my last section, but I totally lied. Personal development is. So I call personal development your fancy little tool belt that it's invisible, that you walk around with, and you have all these cool tools in there. Now let's envision a coach that's been around for 4 years and is very successful. How many tools do you think that they have in their invisible little tool belt thanks to personal development? A lot. So many to the point that when things get hard or they have a challenge or they have a new goal, they whip out that tool that they've learned from personal development and they smash that goal. Now, the people that are like, personal development, mindset, yeah, cool, not for me. I'll just, sell a bunch of challenge packs. Those are the people that when they have an obstacle, when life gets busy, when life gets crazy, that's when they just take the time to step back and, I'll catch up in a month. Like, this business doesn't work like that. Your toolbox and your tool belt has to be so full and strong thanks to personal development, whether it's webinars, audiobooks, seminars, summit, anything like that. You can have all these tools in there. So I want to recommend some books to you guys. I've already told you about You Are a Badass. The book that I can definitely thank for giving me a huge smack in the face, when I wondered why I wasn't rank advancing, I was like, I've been doing this like 12 months and I still don't have a team. I did not have a team for a whole year, for the record. The book's name is No Excuses by Brian Tracy. It was the book for me where he said, Colleen, it is no one else's responsibility but yours to earn money, to help others, and to rank advance and grow your business. I took a huge, it was a big pill to swallow because you're like, oh man, I got to do this on my own. No one else is going to help me do it. It really is. When you take it all on yourself, you're going to become so independent. And a coach's dream is to create independent coaches, because the ones that we have to hold their hand and tell them it's okay and help them with every question and FAQ. Like, I can't do that for 700 coaches on my team. I can't, as much as I want to. I want them to be able to go find it so that they can teach their coaches how to do that. So No Excuses really helped me with that. Two more. Life's Golden Ticket by Brendan Burchard. It is what I like to call a storybook. It's placed in a carnival scene. So it's not just an author telling you, oh, go make all these changes in your life. It's a really cool story about perspective. And it made me cry on the plane ride back from leadership in Arizona last year. I actually had my face in the book and I hid my face because it was one of those books that made me want to go back and change all the things that I thought and all the things I
Colleen, I'm not sure if you can hear us. It looks like you froze. I'm going to try canceling the spotlight. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Hopefully she can get back on. Give her just a minute. Yeah, it looks like she actually got off of here, so let's just wait to see if she's able to get back on. Yes, I mean, seriously, do you see why I had to ask her to do a call? Okay. Let me try messaging her. Okay, she's trying to get back on. Her cleaners disconnected her Wi-Fi. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad problem to have. Okay. Hopefully she can get back on. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Oh my God, what an adventure with having cleaners here. I really apologize. I live in the oldest house in the world, and when you turn off light switches, it like turns electrical things off, and yeah, that'll be part of my story someday. Sorry, guys. Okay, I was really just like wrapping up, and then you guys can ask questions and comments and things like that. So I was saying that once you learn how to master your mindset, you truly can like live a completely unstoppable life. I am so obsessed with the idea now of going after crazy goals. For example, just because people get married doesn't mean your whole life stops, okay? And I was so determined to show people on my team that I had the biggest paychecks and biggest weeks ever. And yeah, I planned my wedding, but I've learned in this business how to manage my time, how to be effective, how to delegate, how to help my leaders grow. And because of that, because I didn't just say, it's my wedding, I'm putting my life on hold. I mean, we're leaving for summit tomorrow morning and you guys are all here. So you're definitely learning that these small sacrifices totally pay off. So I hope that you can challenge yourself every day, every moment. If something horrible happens in your business, guess what? Been there. I actually always end up having the worst, juiciest stories about coach things and missing qualifications and horrible things, but I learn every single time from it. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I might have missed things in the chat box because it's a completely different chat for me. So were there questions in there or comments or anything?
I don't think so. First off, that was awesome. Just as awesome as it was the first time I watched it. Seriously, this is one to watch over and over again. Something that you said that really is great is that, you know, as coaches, our goal is to teach our coaches to be independent and for us to just be leaders ourselves. Because, I mean, this is your business. It's not your coach's business to hold your hand. And I'm the same kind of way where, you know, I'm pretty straightforward with everything. And I think that's awesome. I have a question. I mean, you had the no excuses, the life's golden ticket, and I think you got cut off before the third.
Okay, I wasn't sure where I got cut off because all of a sudden I saw my Wi-Fi go off and I was like, oh, that's weird. It is Thinking for a Change by John C. Maxwell. I mean, all the John C. Maxwell books are great, but John C. Maxwell, for some reason, and all of his books give actual, like, tangible things that you can apply to your business. So instead of giving you all the fluffy stuff, he really gives like great tips in there. So Thinking for a Change. And then a quick little tip that I actually often forget because I wrote it in different ink in my notes here is every morning before I wake up and put my feet on the floor, I listen to personal development via podcast with my phone actually on my pillow next to my ear. And there's something about it like really close up next to my ear where it just, I guess, embeds it right into my brain. I listen to the Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. Some days I work from home, so I kind of am flexible, but some days I'll listen to it in the shower if I'm not feeling like laying in bed. But Entrepreneur on Fire podcast is awesome. Some episodes are okay, but there's a lot of them that are so, so amazing. And it's helped me a lot. So, what other books? Oh man, I mean, I have like a ridiculous library of books. The Go-Giver. Have you guys read that one? Okay. The Go-Giver, it's a 100-page story. And it reminded me so much of my old days at Verizon, of where I was working so hard and I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. But you know what? I never gave enough during my life. And now I've learned that when you start everything with being grateful and by being giving and always positive, abundance will appear. I can't even tell you how much and how creepy that has been for me, because in situations where I'm like, well, that person hasn't really helped me much. What should I do for them? And then I kick myself back into, no, that's not the person you are. Give this person more than you would ever imagine, and abundance will appear in your life. And it is so creepy. I guess we could call it karma, how it works. So the Go-Giver really taught me that. You have to give and give and give and give before you're ever going to get.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm huge on personal development. I'm always on like a different book. But do you have any recommendations with like related to delegating to your team and stuff like that? Like, I'm kind of like open and I will tell them, listen, you have to do this. This is your business. But I feel like they all just sit there and they're like waiting for you to hold their hand. And I don't have time, like you said, to like hold everyone's hand. Like when I started, I went and I did this on my own. I didn't beg for help. But a lot of people don't do that. And I'm just like, I don't know, is there any sort of book that you recommend that has anything to do with that?
Yeah, so I'll kind of touch on a couple of points. The book that I'll recommend that might not answer all of that, but that really helped me is Developing the Leaders Around You, which is John C. Maxwell. He actually did the book Developing a Leader Within You, but Developing the Leaders Around You, the first chapter of that book, it helped me so much. But the other piece I want to share with you is we have to make sure we're not in management mode and that we're in leader mode. And I'm sure you are, but I have to remind myself sometimes, because I want to be like, guys, you have to hit diamond. Otherwise you're not going to max out at $18 cycles. You know what I mean? Like, I want to just tell them that, but it doesn't work like that because we're not all in the same places and perspectives. So I make sure that my vision, and I always talk about why for everything, why they need to be independent coaches. I give my coaches more whys than they could ever handle. So if I'm giving advice, I tell them why, just like I did today. Why should you master your mindset? Because you have to have a strong mind to get through life, long story short, right? So really helping, like, your vision as a leader is XYZ. Make it clear to your team. It's not that, I don't have time to help you and stuff like that. Because if we said that to them, I'm sure they get mad. We want to help them be independent coaches so that they can also live a free life and not have to be chasing me all the time. And then they can teach their coaches. So if you can help your coaches understand the why and your vision, they're going to understand a lot more about where you're coming from when you're trying to help them.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was actually something that one of my old bosses when I used to like Verizon, he taught me. So he always said, don't tell your employees why they need to be on time, don't tell your employees that they need to be on time. Tell them why it's important that they need to be on time. And it's such a world of a difference when you take that mentality and share it with people.
Hi, Colleen. This is Kelly. Awesome call. You spoke to me. This is definitely a call I will re-listen to. When you talk about failure, I am finishing up the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, which he goes through that a lot too, and it's something that has progressed with me. The fear of failing has stopped me from so many things in life, and I refuse to let it stop me with this business. But I know a lot of my coaches have that same fear when it comes to inviting. The scariest, and I know that this could take like a whole call or a year and within itself. What is your best tip on facing that fear and inviting and not making it salesy? What do you teach your coaches?
That's a really good question. I love your nails, by the way. I just got a glimpse of that.
Oh, they're for the Stars and Stripes party.
Well, I'll see you there. Make sure you come say hi.
Will do.
So I always simplify everything. So I could teach people how to invite all day, but I think there's something going on before the invite. So if I could give my one tip to you, because I could talk an hour on this, help your coaches craft their story. And that in itself, again, could take it like a whole hour worth of a call. If you can help your coaches talk and write and share and get the likes and the comments and the support and that empowerment, the inviting is going to be easy because they're in their head. They're going to be like, oh my God, this is changing my life. I'm feeling great. Everyone has to know about this. So inviting is going to roll off their tongue. So I focus on my coaches feeling comfortable sharing. So I ask my coaches, or sometimes I will tell them, if I honestly believe that they're a great coach, I say, do you know that you're a leader on my team? And they'll go, I am. And I'm like, okay, we have to refocus. I want you to know that you have the ability to do X, Y, Z. All you have to do is be a professional storyteller. That's something I learned from Keith Callahan. I mean, look at what we do all day. We share online, and when I go out to Safeway for us is our grocery store. When I go to Safeway, I challenge myself every single day to talk to someone, and sometimes Beachbody doesn't come up, but my life and what's happening in my day comes up, and I challenge myself to just start moving my mouth. speaking with intention. And when you can get your coaches to share their story and be excited to connect with people, inviting is a breeze. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. I try to keep myself short because I'm a tangent girl. That was a good question. Anyone else have a question?
Kelly, I just have a question. I work currently, right, besides Beachbody, I work for Big Pharma, so that's obviously very corporate.
Mm-hmm.
So I find myself having a very hard time breaking away from the corporate mentality. Like, I have to please my boss, right? So, like, I always feel like, oh my gosh, I have to get this into my upline, like, right now, and I have to do this right now. And so I almost feel like I'm beating my head against a wall. And so a few months back, I actually dropped off coaching. I stopped coaching for a while. And so then I realized that I don't want to do that anymore. I came back, but
Good.
so I kind of like had that internal struggle. But do you have any specific, like, how did you get your mindset? How did you specifically like get your mindset to stop that corporate? When you said you worked for a corporation, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to ask that question. Like, how did you get yourself free from that corporate mindset? They brainwash you.
I know. Well, parts of me love where I came from because I did learn a lot. I don't think I'd be where I am today without that experience. And again, I always try to find the silver lining. But it's funny you say that because just yesterday I made a post saying, I today had to remind myself I am enough. And I've had to focus on self-love more than probably anything in this whole business because I came from an entire 27 years of beating myself up that I wasn't good enough, that, you know, it was awful. And so I think if you can get a comfortable 50-50 with being, I have to hand this into my upline. But when you have that moment, catch yourself in that moment of, okay, what can I, instead of like the stress and the worry that it can put on you and the pressure, maybe you can say, okay, maybe today it's not going to get done, but I'm going to write it on Thursday in my planner that I probably should hand it in. Because in this business, there's no like deadline, you know, there's really not, like, you have to have this in. So give yourself a break, but I think it's great. Like, if you can take that mentality, but also remember that you need balance, because otherwise we'll like not be happy. We don't want it to be a bad thing. Push yourself to the point that where you can handle, but then like, okay, I have a planner and it's my life. I'm not organized, but my planner is my life. Like, if I didn't write down I had this call today, I would have forgot. So for me, I'd be like, holy crap, there's 10 things on my to-do list today. This one's not happening. So have you ever read Eat That Frog?
No.
Okay. It's by Brian Tracy as well. And you eat the biggest frog first. So it's like your biggest thing of the day that you have to get done. So it's kind of like, you know, like organizing your priorities, and he teaches you how to do that. It's a very short book. It's great. So maybe take a look at that and give yourself a break, but have that balance of 50-50, because the work ethic you have, other people probably could use, but maybe yours is just so over the top because of corporate world. But yeah, she said you can listen to it on YouTube for free. Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
If anybody else has, I mean, just one more, it's already going on almost an hour. It's a long call, but it's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Colleen, for doing this call. I feel like an ass. I didn't even congratulate you on your wedding.
It's okay. Sometimes I forget too. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not even Colleen Eddy anymore.
Yeah, I saw your name change on Facebook and I was like, oh my God, she got married. Yeah, so congratulations. Thank you so much for doing this call. Seriously, it was awesome. And I really am hoping to meet you at Summit. I'll also be at the Stars and Stripes party. So
yay. I'll be there with my husband, and everyone recognizes him before me because he's so tall. So
well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a good night and a good flight. And
thank you.
We'll see you at Summit.
Bye guys. Thanks for having me. Wake up and be awesome. See you guys later.